This is exam 5-2B, analyzing a crime scene using amplification of DNA for identification. Our victim, Obi-Wan Kenobi, was last seen aboard the Death Star, where he was believed to be searching for one Darth Vader. Obi-Wan's body was not able to be recovered at the crime scene. However, the case is being treated as a homicide. His Padawan, Luke, was on the Death Star at the time of the disappearance, along with Princess Leia, who also happens to be Luke's sister. Notorious pilot Han Solo was also placed at the scene of the crime. 2 DNA samples were collected from the crime scene, and samples were also obtained from the victim and 4 suspects. The 2 samples at the crime scene were amplified for 2 different VNTR loci and compared to the suspects and victim using DNA fingerprinting via gel electrophoresis. To begin our DNA fingerprinting analysis, we will look at locus 1 and sample 1 from the crime scene. So I'll go ahead and shade out sample 2 here for us so we don't have to worry about that confusing us. So here we have our victim Obi-Wan Kenobi, as well as all of our suspects, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo. Darth Vader, as well as Luke and Leia, have these S's in parentheses because they are all Skywalkers. He is the father of these 2, so I went ahead and put this S here to make sure we don't forget that. So now we'll look at sample 1. You'll see that we have our first and second wells filled with these alleles, and I have them color-coded as well for us. So as you can see, for sample 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a match for both alleles, while Darth Vader and Luke are only a match for one of these alleles, so we can rule them out for sample 1, essentially. Princess Leia is the same way, so we can rule her out, but Han Solo, he has each of the alleles for sample 1, as with Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Obi-Wan and Han Solo cannot be ruled out yet for sample 1. So we will have to look at locus 2 to decide if they are both or which one is creating that DNA sample for us. So here we're looking at sample 1 still, and we can see that Obi-Wan Kenobi is a match for both alleles. So we can go ahead and assume that sample 1 is for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now you can see that Han Solo does have that first allele matching, but not the second one. So we can rule him out for sample 1, and we'll go ahead and state that Obi-Wan Kenobi is the match to our sample 1 DNA. We will now repeat the steps for sample 2 in order to find the perpetrator for the crime. Looking at sample 2 at locus 1, we can see that Obi-Wan Kenobi is not a match and can be ruled out. Darth Vader and Luke, however, are perfect matches for both alleles for sample 2 at locus 1, and therefore cannot be ruled out. Princess Leia and Han Solo each share different alleles than sample 2 and can be ruled out at locus 1. Now moving to locus 2, we will compare sample 2 to our Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. And we can see that for sample 2, Darth is actually a perfect match, and however Luke is not. And even though Leia is also a perfect match at locus 2 for sample 2, she was not for locus 1, and therefore she can be ruled out. So we can determine that Darth Vader is indeed the perpetrator of the crime, and we can determine that both Luke and Leia are his children because at each locus he is donating one allele to the both of them. So not only have we verified that Darth Vader is actually the perpetrator behind the crime, but we can also verify he is indeed the father of both Luke and Leia.